I apologize in advance if my dog makes any weird noises. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Charles on the channel Books on Stereo, and I'm here to give you the good recommendations for paranormal romance. Like, you guys know, if you know anything like me, I like it steamy, I like it well written, I like great character development, I like it all. You gotta have it all for me to give you a 5 out of 5 stars. My 5 out of 5 is probably as legendary as a Kirkus star review, so like, my recommendations are infallible. If you try to come for me, I will say you're wrong, I'm right, move on, but just kidding. Everyone has a right to their own opinion, unless it's my opinion, because you know that is right. But I'm gonna start blabbering, and let's get into the paranormal romance books that I have for you. Wow, that was a really bad transition. Up first, we have Sacrifice by Katie Roberts. This is a vampire menage romance. Basically, our heroine is half vampire, half human. She gets basically sent and sold off to a very powerful vampire in the community, and she's basically his blood bank. And in doing this, her father hopes to exert more control over this vampire and his line. And this book, okay, you have to be a romance reader to really like this book because it is absolutely over the top. The plot is crazy. The actions that the characters do are just way over the top. So you have to be into the romance genre to really enjoy this one. If you enjoy super steamy erotica paranormal romance, this will be definitely one that you want to check out. Then I have the Brothers of Ash and Fire series by Lauren Smith. The first book is Grigori. The second book is Mikhail. And the third book is Rurik. So these series of books basically all talk about a trio of dragon shifter brothers. They basically have hidden themselves away from society. And the first book, Gregorio, we follow the leader of this family of like 3 brothers. And he somehow finds out that this heroine, a researcher, is basically trying to find out information about dragon shifters. She picks up a book from the library that she should not have picked up, and that leads to their romance. And each of the books follows the other 2 brothers, and you don't have to read them all in order. They're all kind of standalones, but if you want to get the full story, I recommend reading these all in order. Then, if you haven't read this book or Solo Take by Harley LaRue, I need you to stop this video, go read this book, and then come back and discuss with me because I absolutely adore this book. So in this book, we basically follow our main heroine. She's human. She has this podcast all about the supernatural and occult activities, and her hometown is actually a huge hub of like these type of activities. So she decides to go back to her hometown to work on her podcast. And there she gets kind of embroiled in this like old centuries long scheme where each of the founding families of this community basically sacrifice someone to this like kind of old god, and she is a designated sacrifice, and so the town sends a demon assassin to basically go and kill her. But the demon has other plans because he actually really likes the heroine, and it's their romance. And oh my goodness, you guys, I absolutely love this book. I'm addicted. There's no news on book 2, which is actually breaking my heart. The steam, the kink, everything about this book I absolutely adore. And this book has no audio, so I actually read this book. So that is like a huge endorsement for me. Like, if you don't read any other book that's in this video, please read this book because I absolutely love this book. Then, because since I'm a Jenica Snow fanboy, I read Big Bad Wolf by Jenica, and this is her first real foray into the paranormal space, and oh my goodness, she just needs to become a full-blown paranormal author. This one was so good. The world building was so unique and something that I haven't seen done in paranormals. And so in this one, it's your typical fated mates trope. So we follow our heroine. She basically escapes from normal life, goes to this weird town in like Sweden or Scandinavia or something like that, and she instantly like feels like a connection to the land, and she then gets stalked by her mate, who is a lichen, who has been searching for his mate for thousands and thousands of years, and this is their romance. So not very groundbreaking in terms of the plot, but oh my goodness, the way she executes it and the way she kind of teases other books in this series, I absolutely adore this. Now, I could not give a paranormal recommendations video without talking about the queen, the icon, Kresley Cole. If you haven't read any of her books, I don't think you have to read Immortals After Dark in like complete order. If you don't want to, you can kind of jump around if you really want to. You will miss some overarching items, but most of the books can be read as standalones. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but I also have a series of discussion videos with Izzy from Happy For Now. I'll link her channel down below, as well as we have a live show with the Fated Mates, so Jen and Sarah, to kind of go over the whole series as a whole. So if you haven't read the books, don't watch that live show because then you will be spoiled, but that was such a fun time. Go check out those videos. I'll link that up in the card symbol up above. And so I'm going to give you some great recommendations of places where to start in the Immortals After the Dark series. This is not going to be exhaustive, but let me know if you want to see a full-on standalone video for this series. So if you want demons, I recommend these two books. These are the first introduction to demons in the series. These are the Wrightstrom brothers. The first book is Dark Desires After Dusk, and this is a romance between a demon and a human. And in Kiss of the Demon King, this is a romance between the other writer brother, and then a sorcerer or a witch. Then you have Demon for the Dark, and this is a romance between a sorcerer and a demon, which is a vampire slash demon, and I absolutely love this one as well. Great place to start as well. This is kind of like the more self-contained, one of the more self-contained stories in the IAD world, so this is a great place to jump in if you want to. And then I wouldn't recommend that you start with A Hunger Like No Other if you are not into super over-the-top alphas. If that's not your thing, I would definitely go read the other books and then circle back to this book, because a lot of people, when they read this book and then they're not, especially not into that type of alpha character, they find this a little bit like almost like way too much, and especially for the rest of the books in the series, it's not nearly as heightened as this first book. This first book is a lot if you're not into that thing, so definitely be cautious about this one. Then we have Shadow's Claim. I just really like this one. I think you like this one. This has like kind of like the bachelor vibe. So essentially our heroine is like the next in line to be queen, and she needs to find her king. So instead of just allowing her just to like date normally and select her king, her council basically comes up with an idea to invite all the eligible bachelors to a ring and just have them all fight to the death for her hand in marriage. And one of those contestants is our hero Trahan, who is a vampire. Then we have this title. I never remember the titles of these books because they literally make no sense, but this one is a ghost romance. This is a romance between our ghost heroine and our hero, who is a vampire as well. And this book is probably the book, if you want to get really hooked into the series, this is a really great place, because for a lot of people this is like one of their favorite books. And oh my goodness, the romance and everything from a writing level to a character level to a plot level is all perfection in this book. Then we have Mccreeve, and this is a romance between a human and a Lycae, and this one is really kind of, I would say this is like a little bit more on the darker side, not super dark, but this one definitely does deal with like the topic of grooming and kind of dealing with that trauma for our main hero. And yeah, I really like this one. Definitely, I don't think this is like necessarily the 100 best place to start in the series, but if you want a Lycae romance, this is definitely one that you want to prioritize. So up next I have The Wicked Abyss, and this is the last currently published book in the series, and this is basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Our hero is the king of hell. Our heroine is a fae. Our heroine gets kicked out of the fae realm for betrayal that her parents kind of did against the kingdom. I'm kind of butchering this explanation, but essentially she gets tasked to going to the king of hell because that is her mate, and basically convincing him not to wage war on the other factions, if that makes sense. It's not gonna make any sense until you read this book. This book is like the last book in the series, so like there's some world building things that you won't get, but just know that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Absolutely love this one. This one is a really great place to start. It does have quite a bit of world building, which I think will be helpful if you read this and then go back and read the other novels, but it's up to you. And then I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this book. This is Sarah McLean's favorite book in the series, and this is Sweet Ruin, and this is a romance between a human and a half vampire, half demon. No, half fae, half demon, that's who he is. And he's an assassin. And his blood is poisonous to everyone but the heroine, and it's their romance. This is probably the steamiest of the IAD books. Like this one is just like off the bat, it's just like off to the races. So if you like that he's poisoned everyone else but her trope, this one will definitely be your catnip. And this is a great introduction because a heroine knows nothing about the lore, and she gets kind of like educated as she goes along through the book. So you kind of get to learn the world as a heroine is learning the world. So that is all the recommendations I have for you guys today. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you're going to be picking up any of these books. And if you haven't read Immortals of the Dark by Kresley Cole, I need you to just stop and like go and read that, and then go read Her Soul to Take, just so you can like get your best life. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys over a brand new video. Peace.